It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm shattered. I've had less than 6 hours sleep a night for about 3 weeks now. I'm in my pyjamas. I haven't shaved. I'm really hungry, and I'm just intellectually and emotionally drained. But the good news is, I finished my dissertation. Finally, after it's been an odd and interesting experience, to say the least. I mean, 10,000 words doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, let's be honest, 10,000 words isn't a lot. When you think about, like, the average small novel is only about 50,000 words. It's not a lot, but when it's an academic piece of work, like a dissertation or a study or something like that, where you can't just sit down and, type a load of gumph and then it's fine. I mean, I was able to do about 19,000 words in 2 weeks once, just, sitting down every day, writing, and I had no real problems. But when it comes to academia and something like dissertation, if you really want it to work, then you have to sit and think about every single thing you're saying. Every sentence you write has to support your argument or explain something in some way, shape or form. Every quote that you put in has to make sense. Every reference that you use has to be credible, and it is really tough. It's possibly the hardest 10,000 words that someone will ever write in their lifetime, unless they go on to do a master's or a thesis or something ridiculous like that, which I don't even want to think about right now. It's incredible. It was a lot of work. I mean, it took me by surprise in the sense that I gave myself a month to write the thing. I basically spent half a year planning it. I got all my resources together, I found all my information, I slowly built up a plan. I did that over about half a year, and then gave myself the last month before the deadline, which is tomorrow, writing the thing. Like I just said, the deadline is tomorrow. It's taken me an entire month to write 10,000 words, regardless of the amount of research that I did in the past. It's insane. I've learned a lot about academia, about how my body works, about how I work in these kind of situations. It's been a really enlightening experience, and that's regardless of what I learned about Lovecraft over the course of it. It's one thing that I've discovered is that, the reason why it took so long for me to do this is not only was it quite hard to get everything in the right place and be so precise about what I'm writing, because of course, being a creative writer, I'm just quite happy to go, oh, I have an awesome idea, bleh, wicked. This was slightly different, and the trouble is, because I was getting so little sleep as well, I was staying up until about 4 and then getting up at 10. It's really hard to focus. It's insane. I'll be sitting there working. I do about an hour's worth of work after my breakfast, and then next thing I know, it'd be 5 in the afternoon, and I've been doing literally bugger all since then. It was ridiculous, especially when I discovered that I'd been watching the same YouTube video about 5 times. Rest is as important as work when it comes to a big project like this. A lot of people will, just go, oh, I'll stay up all night and do this piece of work, but there is no way in hell that you can possibly come up with something decent in that frame of mind. I used to think that sleep was a waste of time. No, I honestly believed before now that I did not like sleep at all. I enjoyed it while I had it, but I would always be reluctant to go to bed because it's a waste of time. There's so much stuff that I wanted to do, and sleep would just get in the way of that. So I would make sure that I had as little as possible, but enough to survive. But of course, when you do that, you're running at only like 50% capacity, and it just goes to show that, like, I knew that today was important because it's the day before my deadline. So I told myself I'll have an extra 3 hours sleep. It's a bit of a risk because it's giving me less time in the day, but I will see how it goes. And it really paid off. I woke up, had my breakfast, and worked flat out for about 4 hours. Understandably, about when 5:30 rolled around, tea time, I did start to wonder a little bit, but it was okay. I managed to roll through it, and I've finished now because of that. And obviously I've learned an incredible amount about H.P. Lovecraft. It's been really good. I mean, obviously when I first started, I was just interested, and it was a bit of a gamble actually, because I wasn't sure if I was going to want to carry it through. I mean, I didn't really know much about him at first. I knew bits and pieces from playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game and playing like the Arkham Horror board game. That, along with some bits and pieces that I got from a very good friend of mine in Shrewsbury, it kind of formed a very basic knowledge and a slight interest. But I thought I'd roll with it and see what I came up with and see if I liked it. And fortunately, I did. And there's so much more to it than just some bloke what writes stuff about aliens. It's an entire. It's a world that represents a worldview that is absolutely just magnificent. It's not like, Mordor or the world of Harry Potter or whatever the hell. It's not a fantasy landscape like that. It's our world. It's just been built up from the eyes of someone who is completely exterior, and it's fascinating. So I feel a lot more knowledgeable on the subject now, which I suppose is the main thing. I mean, it doesn't really matter what comes from this. I feel like I've learned a great deal, and that's what university is all about. I didn't want to be one of those people that just went to university and thought, oh, awesome, I'm living in halls, I haven't got mummy or daddy to tell me off if I come home drunk and vomit on the cat. I can just spend every single night partying, spend all my money on booze, and then and not do what I'm here to do, because I'm too cool for that. I didn't want to be one of those people. I actually wanted to accomplish something, because I know a lot of people that have been to university and then regretted not putting in the effort. Like, my father told me, you get one chance, and I didn't want to wreck that one chance that I've got. And I think it would be doing a poo on the heads of any other prospective students who are end up going to have to pay through the eyes for this kind of education in the future, because all this stuff that the government's doing or whatever. So anyway, yes, I actually have some free time now. I've got a couple more assignments to do over the next couple of weeks, but nothing near the scale of what I've done now. So I apologise again for the barrenness of this channel, and I hopefully will make up for it in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I was being really hopeful. I posted a couple of videos saying I'll be back soon and blah blah blah. I was just being really hopeful. I didn't realise the insurmountable bulk of work that was awaiting me. And when I say that, it's not a lot of work. 10,000 words is not a great deal. There is a lot of. I mentioned it earlier in the video. 10,000 words is not a great deal. It seems like it because it is possibly the greatest. It's possibly the largest amount of work that you will accrue in an undergraduate degree. But it isn't a lot of work. With proper timing and everything like that, it's easily doable. It's more about what's up here that it's the challenge of actually doing it that's the real thing to defeat. It's the challenge of your mind and how you deal with it that's the real threat to your sanity while you're doing it. Not the work itself. It's the process. I've got a couple of readings that I want to do. I'm going to read some comics and do some reviews of that, because I've been itching to read comics for ages now. I've got some awesome news coming up in my next update, so I will keep you posted on that. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me, and I'll see you again soon. Ta-ra!